Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Build a City. We're on Series 2, Episode 7, and in this video we built a cruise ship terminal. Now, as you will have seen from the video, we built quite a lot of things in this video. So we'll dive straight in as we've got a lot to get through. We'll start with the main terminal building over here, which as you can see sort of consists of two different parts. We'll start with the modern part, which includes the gangway, which is essentially the long tunnel down here. And this is how you would board the ship. And as you can see, we have these little doorways here. And obviously these would like extend out to meet with the doors on the ship. And that's how you'd get on and off. And yeah, not much else to say about that. And it runs into this sort of modern bit of the main terminal itself. And that in turn leads into this much older section here, which is more of a Victorian style building. And back in the day, this building, I imagine, would have been used as a terminal for sort of big ocean liners. So just, if you don't know what an ocean liner is, just imagine ships like the Titanic, that sort of ship, very luxurious passenger ships basically. And yeah, I think this building came out quite nicely. I particularly like the round windows up here we did. I think they look good. And yeah, I do also in turn like the modern section, just because I quite like the colour scheme. Because even though the, what's this wood called? I can't remember. But even though that wood is found in the Nether, it does have sort of quite a nautical feeling to it, I feel like, just because of the colour of it. I might be the only one who thinks that. If so, then fine. But yeah, I just think it works quite well in a nautical themed build. Hence why I went for it. So yeah. That's the sort of main terminal building. I say very happy with it. If we come out the terminal building though, we have this Georgian style building behind it, which as you will have noticed says info on the side. And that's because this is meant to be a visitor or tourist information centre. And basically what that is basically an area where, if you've never been here before and you need information, for example, how to travel around the city or what there is in the city, you'd come in here and you'd be able to find all the information you need. But yeah, I think this building came out very nicely. If you've been watching the channel for a while now, you will know that I like Georgian style buildings a lot, hence why I decided to build one here. But yeah, looks very nice, pretty much the same around the back as it is the front. Yeah, just a sort of quite average style Georgian building. Yeah, I think it came out really nicely. And between that and the terminal, you just have some trees along the front here, just some nice little trees and some benches and some trash cans. Just so if you're waiting to get on the ship, for example, you can sit outside, have a bit of fresh air. Yeah. Turned out quite nicely, this little area. Just next to the information centre, we have this little warehouse style building. It's meant to be like a little Victorian warehouse. And back in the day, when this was a Victorian sort of terminal, before some of these other modern buildings are built like this one here, you can imagine that there would have been a lot of these little warehouses just dotted about around here. In modern times, I imagine this is probably used for things like gardening equipment, for things like the gardens that are dotted about, and just sort of general maintenance things, brooms, that sort of stuff, to clean the area every now and again. So yeah. Then this building here, this is quite interesting. I quite like this building. I think it came out quite well. And this is meant to be sort of a, well, I'm not really sure, like a communications centre. Basically an area where you would be able to talk to all the ships out at sea. So yeah, so almost like a sort of port version of a control tower that you get at airports. I say just just an area where you can talk to all the ships out at sea, keep things on track. Yeah, it's quite a simple building. You've got sort of two main colours going on. You've got the grey sections and then the sort of cyan section as well. And to be fair, I think it's quite a nice colour scheme. I think the colours work well with each other, and again, I went for the cyan just because it has sort of a nautical look to it, and this is a terminal for a cruise ship at the end of the day, so yeah. I think the main feature of this build has to be the sort of radar dish up here, which is obviously how they would get a signal to talk to all the ships out at sea. And obviously in real life this would, like, spin around. Unfortunately on Bedrock there's not really any ways I can do that, especially because I'm not a redstone person at all. But yeah, it looks just as good stationary in my opinion, so yeah, there it is. And obviously just next to it, as you would have seen, there's this little green space here with these trees, and then just a couple of other trees with some benches just dotted about. And whilst I'm here, I'll mention these little pipes going up here. I think these look cool, just a nice little addition to a sort of bland wall here. I have no idea what would be in these pipes, but yeah, I mean, what's actually in them is just sculpt, as you can see, just because it looks cool. So yeah, I say what that actually would be in real life, I have no idea at all. Whilst we're here as well, I'll mention the little bridge that we built that came over here. I think this came out quite nicely. Nice little copper bridge, and I've not really built a bridge like this before, so yeah, I think it came out well though. And we have this little emblem on the bridge, and I sort of imagine that as the sort of logo for the main cruise ship company that would operate from here. And the reason for that is because we used this sort of, again, I can't remember what it's called, but the wood that's found in the nether, which is obviously the same wood we used over on the actual terminal itself. And I'd imagine that would be like sort of the main colour scheme of the cruise ship company who operates from here. But yeah, just a nice little bridge. Yeah, looks good. And here, just as you drive onto the little terminal area, you have a little bus station down here, just because, if you get off the cruise ship and you want to explore the city, you're going to need a way of getting around. So yeah, quite a simple little building. It's not that big, obviously. All it really needs to be for is, a little building where you can go in and just buy tickets for a bus. And then we just have 3 sort of bus lanes for buses here, where they'd be able to, park and pick up passengers and drop off passengers. So yeah, quite a simple little building, but I think works quite well. Then next to it, we have a very fancy building, a nice old Victorian building again. This is a little subway station, because this city will have a subway. It doesn't yet because we've only just started building it, but it will have a subway system. And again, if you get off the cruise ship, you're going to need a way to get around the city. So I thought having a subway station here would be quite a useful thing to have. So yeah, the actual building itself is quite nice. I decided to use mud bricks for it, just because I've not really built a building in this style out of sort of just entirely mud bricks and sort of mud before. But yeah, I think it looks quite nice actually. And yeah, I think I did quite a good job. The sides and back are sort of quite plain, just because there wouldn't be much in this building. Obviously, you'd go through the doorways at the front and then just immediately go down, which is what you do at a subway station because they're underground. So yeah, not a big building, but it doesn't need to be because of that. But still, yeah, looks quite nice. And behind it here, you just have this other little sort of park or garden with a couple benches in and some nice tall trees. Yeah, again, just adding green space where I can in little areas like this where it'd be hard to fit a building into just because of the shape of it and it's not that big. Because yeah, every city needs green space at the end of the day. So yeah, we have a couple other benches and some more trees dotted about down here, and a little garden here as well as just here. Again, more spaces that were just awkward to fit buildings into, and I also ran out of buildings to put here. So yeah, just some nice green space to help fill it in. And then we come to sort of the last area of the build, which is this roundabout, which we'll get to in a second, because I just want to explain this, which is a little sort of ramp that goes into a space down there. That's supposed to be like an underground car park. So if you, for example, driven to the terminal and you want to park your car whilst you go on a cruise here, then you can down there. But also I'd imagine there would be like a car rental place down there. So if you've just got off the ship and you're visiting the city and you want to hire a car, you'd be able to do that down there. Whether I actually build a car park down there one day, maybe. If I do, it'll probably be on the live stream, because it is quite a boring thing to build and it's just not a very entertaining video to build that, I feel like. So obviously if you guys really want to see that, then tell me in the comments and I'll do it on a video, but otherwise I'll save it for a stream when I start streaming, hopefully next month. So yeah, and that also goes for a cruise ship, which is notably missing. Again, if I'm going to build a cruise ship, it's quite a big thing to build, so I would probably make it sort of a stream series. So yeah. But yeah, the coming back here, the actual roundabout itself I think came out really well, and yeah, it's yeah, a normal roundabout, but in the center it has a sort of statue or an ornament of an anchor, which again, I'm just going for that sort of nautical theme because of what this build is. But yeah, I think it came out really nicely, this. Obviously around the edge of the roundabout we have some blue orchids and some rose bushes, which are my two favourite flowers in the game, and some little oak leaf hedge. Yeah, we also have some foliage growing around the anchor as well, just to make it look nice and fancy, I guess. But yeah, as I say, I think it came out really well, this roundabout, and yeah, it just helps to add a bit of greenery as well, break up the colours a bit. So yeah, that pretty much sums up what we built in this video, the cruise ship terminal. Obviously, as I say, the cruise ship is notably missing, but if I am going to build that, which I think I will, it will be just on streams, just so I don't have to have a 6-part video series building it, because as I say, it's quite a big thing to build. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please give the video a like, because it does help out the video a lot. And obviously, if you want to see more from the channel and see more builds that are coming up in the city, then be sure to subscribe. And I will hopefully see you back here very soon. Bye!